If you guys are choosing to do acrylic paint for your pieces, the positive with acrylic paint is you can do a lot of blending, color changing. Negative is it is not food safe and it's not as strong. I could still scratch it off of the surface that I'm painting. So the bottles of paint are right here. They do stain your clothes, and the brushes need to be washed really well, otherwise it does end up ruining the brushes. So when you guys get a paintbrush from over here, these are pretty dingy, they're pretty dirty. So what you do is you take it over to the sink, put a little bit of soap on it. I'm not gonna go all the way over to the sink. Put a little bit of soap on the brush, hold it in the palm of your hand, and spin it with the soap underwater until it runs clear and you don't see any debris in the bristles anymore. You need to do that before you use it and after you use the paintbrush. So when you guys are painting, I don't want any straight from the bottle colors. So you're gonna take a tray, put a little bit of paint, a little bit. Do not overflow the tray. You guys are not gonna need that much paint. It goes a long way. So I knew I wanted to do some blues, light blues, add a little touch of silver to it. And so I just put a little bit of paint in my tray. I did put a layer of straight from bottle blue. Now this is where I'm saying I don't want straight from bottle for your entire piece. So I want to put a little bit of light blue with this as well. So what I'm going to do is just pull some of my white, and you want more white than your color when you're trying to do a lighter color. And if I want to add a little bit more blue, I can. And then that way I can use it with this blue right here. I can add a little bit over the top, and I can work with the second paintbrush, putting my traditional blue straight from the bottle color with it, so I can kind of blend those together so it's not completely the opposite color. And so that way I get a little bit of variation so it's not really boring. So the straight from the bottle colors placed onto the clay is very boring. Another benefit of working with acrylics is the fact that when it dries, if you hate it, you just paint right over the top. And I'm sorry for the filming, I'm having to hold it with one hand and paint with the other. So if I want to do touches of white over the top, I can do that so I can get this nice variation in color. If I want to add a little bit of silver to it, the metallics that I have are pretty translucent, and so working with other colors with it is nice. It takes about 4 coats to get a solid silver color, so just be aware of that when you guys are painting. So already it's more interesting just because we have the variations in color. Again, when it dries, if you don't like it, you guys can repaint it. If you need help with blending, just see me. At the end of the class period, you are going to, if you're still going to use these paints, you're going to put a lid on it, but these lids are not very good. You can see it's not completely sealed. And so you'll also take a plastic bag that we use for storing clay and put it over the top so it helps keep that clay, or excuse me, the paint hydrated. If you leave it like this overnight, it's basically going to turn into plastic. Same thing again with these brushes. If I were to leave these in the sink or place them to the side for Mrs. English to clean, they're going to end up being completely solid. And what I'm going to do is put them back in here. If you guys make the brushes crappy, you get to use crappy brushes, okay? So again, it's your choice whether you guys want to use acrylics or whether you want to work with glazes. You get a little bit more color choice with this. It's not food safe. It's not as permanent. I could take a razor and I could scrape off the surface because it's not a layer of glass. But another positive is that you do not have to fire them again. And so once these are dry, they're ready to go home after I grade them.